Thank you. I have a question. What is the best treatment? I know, so how you put it, for large uterine fibroids? Good question. Well, same type of thing. And I probably would try to douche and get my hips up in a tub and try to get that Hill-All-T up in the uterus if you can. But the big deal is systemic, and that is the kidneys and the adrenal glands and getting that lymph moving. You could probably use some castor oil packs to help with that and maybe loosen some of it up a little bit, but this is what happens. Acids make things hard as rocks. You're probably not going to like what I have to say. If it's too big and you're having too many problems, then you might have to go under the knife and have it removed. If you have the tenacity, the strength to hang in there, then you've got to do some fruit fasting. This is a job. It takes a while. We've had big ones out. I'd say the biggest one we've gotten out of a lady was probably grapefruit size. But you get any bigger, you got a lot of work ahead of you. So it depends how big you're dealing with and all that. But again, you could do the Hill-All-T. I would probably douche anyway with it for 2-3 weeks easy, at least once a night. At the same time, I'm going to pound the GI tract, the kidneys, the adrenals, and really get my lymph system moving. This is all about your lymph system again, and really hit that hard here. I have uterine fibroids, multi-ovarian cysts, got real anemic from heavy bleeding, and the allopaths are talking hysterectomy. I don't believe in removing the uterus. May consider a different procedure to cauterize blood vessels, supplying the fibroids. Too much bleeding is making it hard to function. Well, take the bleeding formula. We have the bleeding formula. Again, that's for internal bleeding. I think that'll help you a lot. I would probably really try to work with some Hill-All-T. I mean, you'll have to lift your hips up and really try to get that T up into the uterus as much as possible. You definitely want to work internally with this. You've got to get your kidneys moving, your adrenals up. That's really key to clean the uterus lymphatically. This is the lymphatic issue. This is a kidney and adrenal issue again, going back to causative factors now, and the inability to filter lymph. I don't know if you have fibrocystic breast. That's common. It goes along with the package because the lymph stagnation is systemic. So you start seeing this, and then with estrogen levels raging a little higher in women because of all the estrogenic chemistry out there, then that's just more burning and more burning, So really detox that lymph system, get your kidneys filtering, look for that sediment in the kidney. A lot of you are starting to see it. That's fantastic, and go after that way. And you'll be successful in getting that out. Unless it's real big and really causing a lot of problems, then you'll have no alternative, I think, than the hysterectomy. I mean, I spent a lot of years looking at that. Now, we have some that are as big as footballs, and it's just so hard to get those dealt with, so it's really best to have them out. But if it's not that bad, but use the bleeding formula to stop bleeding. That'll help you right off, and then get detox and detox.
This is, it says, a loved one of mine wants to get her uterus surgically removed because she has fibroids there. What can I tell her? She eats lots of fruits and veggies, but also cheese, breads, chocolates, nuts, goat's milk, oil, and salt. But in her mind, she has an excellent diet, so I don't know how to heal her that way. First of all, I want to comment on the last sentence. So I don't know how to heal her that way. That's not your responsibility, honey. That's that person's responsibility. She has to take her own health issues in her own hands, or she'll never get better. You can do all the prep for her. You can do all the herbs, get them all ready for her. As long as she doesn't want to do it and you force her, she's not going to get better. So in her head, if she feels like surgically removing her uterus just to get around the fact of fibroids, those are so easy to get rid of. And even if she doesn't change her diet to 100%, even like 80%, she can still really do wonders on those fibroids if she's willing to put the effort in. Herself, not you. Herself. So that's where the T would come into play, moving the kidneys and the lymph and the bowels, in my opinion. So.
Well, you know what's interesting is everything you see, whether it's fibroids, endometriosis, ovarian cysts, prostatitis. I don't care what you see. You can walk to that lymph system every single time, and that's where you find your answer every single time, because there's only two major fluids of the human body, two sides of chemistry, and two sets of eliminative organs, one for digestive waste and one for cellular waste. So you got to take a look at how simple this is set up. All right, so this is a Farhana. I am currently 53 years old, and I'm suffering from uterine fibroids. Now, what side of chemistry do you think causes fibroids? Now, there's only two, and you can always refer to everything in that manner. Anyway, it's a 53-year-old with uterine fibroids. Of course, acid side of chemistry, what causes fibroids, of course, and what system deals with the acid side of chemistry? The lymphatic system, and of course, that's going to dig you right into endometriosis, too. Ovarian cysts. All three of these things. Atypical cells. All three of these things are an acid experience. I am near menopause, but don't know when I will reach it. I am being, well, you're 53. Most women reach it at about 60, depending how good the pituitary is, how well you've done all through your life in that manner, you know. So I am being urged by the allopathic community to undergo a hysterectomy or endometrial ablation. I was losing so much blood a few months ago. Okay, so, you know, that's another thing. This is another issue here, blood. I'm going to say that I would get on the if it was me, I'm going to take the female reproductive formula. If that doesn't bring my periods into balance and make them a little healthier, then I'm going in, and on time, I'm going to the pituitary gland and work there a little bit. Also meaning that I'm going to work on my bowels too. Oh, and I mean, I'm going to work on my kidneys and adrenals too, because that controls the lymphatic system, which is the acid system. You see, so these are the things you have to work on to bring this into normal here. You don't have to go through hysterectomies. You do have to bring your interstitial fluids more into a base balance. Or the more acidic you are, it's just you're going to weld your uterus to your colon. Well, again, for you ladies that have excessive bleeding, and go to the pituitary or the ovaries. Do the female reproductive formula or do the pituitary formula, especially if you have excessive bleeding or your menses is irregular. Now, with that said, there is a bleeding formula that I made, and it is for internal bleeding. And if I'm having excessive bleeding and I'm losing my hemoglobin and red blood cells, I'm going to use that formula to stop or slow down internal bleeding. And I would highly recommend that until you get the pituitary under control, which shouldn't be too long to stop that. But those are the things that I would do while I'm fixing my kidneys, while I'm getting my adrenals up, while I'm getting my bowels cleaned up, while I'm moving that lymph system. I'm over here with a female reproductive. I might be using a glandular to hit that pituitary, one bottle maybe twice a day, you know, that sort of thing, and stop that excessive bleeding. That's not difficult. And then rebuild, build yourself up. Probably some green drinks would probably do you some good here, and that would be with some parsley, cilantro, alfalfa sprouts that are dark green, spinach and stuff like that. Give yourself a little refurbishing with some green drinks. At the same time, dark berry juice, dark berries, dark grapes, extremely enlivening to the blood. Oh, I was prescribed birth control pills. To deal with the bleeding, and I am currently taking them. I don't know how to go about this issue, and I'm inclined to undergo a hysterectomy. For Hannah, I would uncline that. I have been drinking a cup of cow's milk in the morning with black tea for many years. Oh, crap. Well, I mean, that just means you got a lot of lymph to clean up. You know, the more milk people drink, the heavier the lymphatic congestion in the body. What is the cause of my uterine fibroids, and can I get rid of my condition without hysterectomy into endometrial ablation? I appreciate your advice I can offer. Oh, I tell you right now, detox, detox, detox. There isn't anything you can bring me with a question that detoxification has not answered that. I've looked at that in every part of it, every size, every shape of that, and it always fits. And that is essential. Detoxification is a process of cleansing, a process of hydration, a process of cell rejuvenation and regeneration, a process of cellular genetic remembering. That's what detoxification is. This is a question about something to strengthen the uterus. The female reproductive formula we have does strengthen the uterus. I think that, again, keep in mind the uterus is a bunch of cells with two major fluids. The reason we see fibroids, endometriosis, is, of course, acidosis. So, obviously, keeping healthy tissue means good blood flow and a good lymph flow. So we're going back to the kidneys again in terms of the health of the uterus and the ovaries and the health of the female parts. And you always remember, no matter what tissue you want to get healthy, what makes these cells unhealthy? What damages them, in other words? Well, there's only two sides to chemistry, and so what would be the philosophy? Nature doesn't get rid of its strong, it gets rid of its weak. So that's what you have to look at. If you weaken the cells in your body, then they're going to be attacked. Well, what weakens the cells in the body? Acids. You know, it comes back to that same old journey there, and then that takes off into genetics, memory of cells and things like that. I don't think any of this is difficult. Most of you guys have got it so well. I'm just real proud of you, actually.